Let's read our next word problem. Last week, Rich bought 7 gallons of unleaded premium and 8 gallons of unleaded regular gasoline and paid $27.22. This week, he purchased 8 gallons of unleaded premium and 4 gallons of unleaded regular and paid $22.16. He forgot to record how much each type of fuel cost per gallon. Can you determine those values? Section 8.5, Solving a Word Problem Using a System of Equations. Now that we've read our problem carefully, let's look at some of the facts. We were asked to find 2 facts. First of all, we want to know the cost of unleaded premium gas per gallon. We'll let that X represent the cost for that. We are also asked to find the cost of unleaded regular gas per gallon. We'll let Y represent that cost. Now, what else do we know in this problem? Well, we know that last week he purchased 7 gallons of unleaded premium and 8 gallons of unleaded regular, and he spent a total of $27.22. He doesn't know, though, how much he paid for each type of gasoline. This week he knows that he purchased 8 gallons of unleaded premium and 4 gallons of unleaded regular. He knows that this week he paid $22.16 for gas. Now, since we're looking for 2 different items, the cost of unleaded premium and the cost of unleaded regular gasoline, we have to introduce 2 different variables. When we have 2 different variables, we have to write 2 separate equations. Thus, we introduce a system of equations. Now, in our first equation, we'll have it use the information from last week's purchases. We know that he purchased 7 gallons of unleaded premium. We don't know the cost, so to calculate the cost of the gasoline, we're going to take the 7 and multiply it by X, the unknown cost of gas. So last week, we know we have 7X, 7 gallons at X cost, plus he bought 8 gallons of unleaded regular. So we're going to make that 8 times the cost of unleaded regular, which is Y. We know that this represents the total money he spent last week, which in this case was $27.22. We'll write that down. Now, let's look at what he spent this week on gasoline. This week, he purchased 8 gallons of unleaded premium. Again, the cost for unleaded premium is unknown. We represent that cost with the variable X. So we're going to multiply 8 gallons times the cost per gallon plus, this week he purchased 4 gallons of unleaded regular, so that's 4 gallons times the cost per gallon, which again is Y. We know that this week he spent a total of $22.16. So the second equation represents the money he spent on gasoline this week. Now that we have our 2 equations, we can solve this system of equations. Again, we have a couple of methods to use. Choose the one that you're most comfortable with. In this particular system, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the method that we call addition. The reason why I'm choosing that is because none of the coefficients of the X or Y variables is 1. So what I'm going to do to leave myself a little more room, I'm going to rewrite our system up here, 7x plus 8y equals 2722. Just rewriting this above, 8x plus 4y is equal to 2216. So all I did here was rewrite the system. Now again, as I just said, I'm going to choose the method that we call addition. Now, let's see, all the numbers are a little large, but I do see one relationship that I like. I see right here I have a 4y and a positive 8y. If I multiply my second equation by negative 2, that'll give me 8y and negative 8y, and then I'll eliminate the y values. So I'm going to multiply just this bottom equation by my negative 2. When I do, the resulting bottom equation is negative 16x minus 8y, and that's all equal to, we've got negative 2 times $22.16, which is negative 44.32. Now, again, since I already have the 8y up here in the first equation, and I'm going to add it together with my negative 8y in my second equation, this top equation is going to remain as is. 7x plus 8y is equal to $27.22. Now that I've done that, I'm going to add the two equations together. When I do, here I get a negative 9x because I have 7x minus 16x equals, and notice since this number $44.32 is negative, that's going to be a negative sum of $17.10. Now, the last step, divide both sides by 9, or excuse me, in this case, negative 9. That's going to be x equals, and because I'm dividing by a negative number, negative divided by negative is positive 1. Negative $17.10 divided by negative 9 gives me a positive $1.90. Now, an easy way to determine whether you made a mistake is that if this number here turned out to be negative, that means he's not paying for gas, but they're giving him money for filling up gas. That wouldn't make much sense. So make sure that your answers make sense to the question being asked. So in this case, he's paying $1.90 for X was the cost of unleaded premium gasoline. So he's paying $1.90 per gallon. Now, we still haven't finished this problem because we have not answered the second question. The second question asks us, how much did he pay for unleaded regular gas? Well, again, we can go to either one of these two equations and solve for the missing variable. In this case, that's y. It doesn't really matter which one we take. I'm just going to take this top equation and substitute x equals $1.90. So I'm going to get 7 times $1.90 plus 8y is equal to $27.22. Solving this for y will give me the answer of the cost per gallon of unleaded regular gasoline. 7 times 190 is 13.3 plus 8y is equal to 27.22. To solve for y, we know we're going to subtract 13.3 from both sides of our equation. So when we do, we get 8y here equals, we get 8y here equals 13.92. And how did I get that number? I subtracted 13.3, I should say, from both sides of that equation. Finally, what I'm going to do here is divide both sides of my equation by 8. When I do, dividing the left-hand side of my equation, 8 divides by 8 gives me 1, and 13.92 divided by 8 gives me 1.74. So what does this mean? This means that our friend paid $1.74 for each gallon of unleaded regular gasoline. Now, it would be a good habit for you to maybe at the bottom write a little summary statement about the information that you found. In other words, answer the question that was asked. So in this particular problem, we'll say that he paid how much? $1.90 per gallon, and this was for the more expensive gas. We'll call this the unleaded premium. And on the other hand, we found out that he paid $1.74 per gallon of our unleaded regular gasoline. Now, that was a lot of work. Most students have the most difficulty in solving the word problems is when they have to set up these equations. So once you get this equation, of course, the rest of it you should be comfortable with because it was simply solving that system of equations. So my advice to you is just to read the problem carefully, perhaps read it more than one time. It's okay to read a word problem 2, 3, or even 4 times. Do not get in the habit of simply just taking the numbers out of the problem, writing them down, and trying to make equations out of them. Please read the problems carefully, write the equations, and make sure at the very end you answer the question asked.